Okay, welcome to the second semester, although we haven't started the second semester yet, but we finished the first semester. Today's the last day, next week, and then we have winter break. We have three weeks off. I'm going to schedule, let's look at the schedule. Let's see, we come back on the 11th, right? You see January on the far left of that board? Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so when do we come back? What date? Sunday is the 10th. You see 10th of January, right? You see that, the third row? You see that? Then the 11th of January is a Monday, right? Now we have to have it on a day 1. So let's have the test on the 20th. Is that good?
Yes.
Good. So January 20th, you understand? January 20th is the test for this chapter. Is that clear? Chapter 8. Yes? January 20th. So be prepared. Okay, now, let's look at this, and we're going to write this in symbols. The actual instructions say, what do they say? For each of the following diagrams, find 3 ways of representing the number of nails present. Assume there are C nails in each cup. I don't like that C nails in each cup because it looks like C stands for cup, right? But it's the number of nails in a cup. So there's going to be 3 nails in each cup. Right? You understand that? There's going to be 3 nails in each cup. Yes? All right? But we're going to represent these nails with the letter C. Correct? Yes? Okay. So, and T is going to be what? What's T going to be? Is going to be a nail, right? Yes? This is going to be a nail. Let me make that look more like a nail. Okay? That's going to be a nail. So how would I represent? Give me a way of representing this that's actually real relative to the number of nails. Okay? How can I represent this? Tell me. Anybody? Shall I do the first one? Okay? Well, the first thing you're going to do is go like this, I think. Let's not necessarily follow the instructions that are listed, but let's try to work this out the way you would if you didn't know anything about math. Okay? Okay? Do you agree that that's a cup, that's one nail, right? This is a cup, and that's 1. Right? Yes or no? So couldn't you represent this as 4 C's plus 2? Couldn't you represent that? Yes? All right. Let's say that the total number of nails is N. So what would you make that equal to? What would you make that equal to? See, let me tell you what your main problem is going to be. And I know you're already thinking that. How many people would rather not use letters, but just use numbers? Isn't it annoying to use N and C and X and Y? Just use numbers. Is that what you're saying? You're having a hard time thinking in terms of a letter instead of a number. Montrose, do you agree? Yeah. How many people agree with Montrose? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's your problem. When students first learn algebra, they have a hard time thinking in terms of letters. Okay? So what you're going through, the frustrations you're having, are completely normal. Everybody has them. I'm going to give you some advice. There's 2 things you have to remember. Everybody has problems with letters instead of numbers at your age. And 2, that problem will fade with time, so don't worry about it. It will fade. Trust me when I tell you that it'll fade. Don't worry about it. It's hard to believe me, right? But it will. So don't let that stop you. Let me ask you a series of questions, okay? Do you understand that C represents this cup with 3 nails in it, yes or no? Do you? Yes or no? That C stands for 3 nails. Do you see that? This C stands for 3 nails, right? Right? And there's a number, right? So 4C plus 2. So this number, this expression, 4C plus 2, actually represents a number. Oh, I know it's weird. But doesn't it represent a number? Yes or no? Doesn't it represent a total number of nails? Doesn't it? Yes or no? Does it represent a total number of nails? Okay. So can I say that that's going to equal capital N? Can I say that? Yes or no? Yes. Of course I can. So that's an expression, isn't it? Yes or no? Can I also say, I can break this down into parts, that I could say, this is 2C plus 1, right? Can I say that this is 2C plus 1? Can I say that? Can I say that? What's 2C plus 2C? 4C plus 2. Isn't that the same thing? Isn't it? Yeah, of course. This is another expression. So this is an equation, right? Do you understand that? This is an equation. We can call this, what are we going to call that? We can call it an equation, a rule, a formula. Right? Yes or no? What are you going to call this? 4C plus 2. What are you going to call that? What's that called? That's called a pattern or a function. Do you understand that? It's called a pattern function. Yes or no? See that? Now, let me erase this. Can I erase this? I'm going to erase this. Okay, now, before we go on to the next one, what does C equal?
3.
It equals 3. Good. Who said that? So then you're going to... Did you say that, Mayan? Huh? Excellent. So you have N equals 4 times 3 plus 2. So N equals 14. Do you see that? What does 3 represent? 3 is you're substituting that in for the variable C, aren't you? Does that make sense so far? I'm not asking you to take a test today. I'm simply asking you, does it make sense? Follow me. Mayin, does it make sense? Okay. Now, I'm going to erase the top, okay? Now remember, C represents, we're going to say there's 3 in each cup, right? How do I write this? How would I write that? Well, right, I put a cup, and then 3 nails. Right? And I put a thing around it, wouldn't I? A C plus 3, right? Yes? And then I'd say a cup, plus 2. Wouldn't I? Yes or no? Now, I want to say this is going to be what? N. Yes? Yes or no? This is the function. Right? Right? The whole thing is called an what?
Function.
What else is it called? What else is it called? F. What? The function is just that, right? The function is the pattern, right? The equation is when you set it equal to something, right? Yes?
In the test, if we have a question similar to that, and we write the equation differently, does it still count?
No, no. If you wrote the equation if you wrote the equation like that, that would be incorrect because it's not in simplest form. You see, this is what was given in the book, right? And this is a pictorial example, correct? Right. The question is, if you wrote that as the equation on the test, would you be correct? And my answer is no. Why? If you put that as an answer, would you be correct? No. It always has to be simplest form, right? Isn't that always the case? Yes or no? If I said, give the answer in not simplest form, that's what you would put, right? I would never say that. So you've got to always put things in simplest form, correct? Okay? Here's the equation. Is that simplest form? What's simplest form, Danny? N equals
2C plus 5.
That's simplest form, James. You get it? That's a different question than what we're doing. Natasha, do you see that? It's a different question. I did the question in the book. That was the original thing I had on the board. James, excellent question, by the way. Excellent. Excellent question, but a different question. He said, if this was the equation that you wrote on a test, would it be correct? And my answer is no, because it's not in simplest form. Do you see that? You've got to follow directions. In the absence of directions, it's always what? Simplest form. Clear? I think we're done. Do you think we're done?